49ers are content keeping him for this current season, but other teams will be calling to see if they could pry him loose.
The NFL Draft, it is the best reality TV show just to get us more prepped up and ready to go. At number 3, we'll see what happens with the Niners. Al, take it away.
Oh, we were so fired up when we got McShay's latest mock draft. We say hi, hello again to Ryan Clark, Schefter staying with us, and we say hello to Louis Riddick, who's joining us for this hour of Get Up. I'll start there with you, Lou. What happens if and when the Niners decide they don't want Mac Jones?
Well, if they decide they don't want Mac Jones, I think right then, right off the bat, New England is going to jump right into the fray here, and they're going to be one of those teams that is going to be very aggressive, and they will move up. They will try and get into a position to go ahead and draft a guy who I think fits ideally how they want to play up there in New England from the quarterback position. That doesn't mean that they can't adjust. As they showed last year, they can adjust to any kind of quarterback depending upon his skill set. But I think ideally this is what they want to be. They want to be a drop-back type of team, put a lot of responsibility on the quarterback, and they feel as though Mac has that kind of DNA. He has that kind of upbringing. That's who he is as a quarterback, and I think that would fit ideally what they want to do. So, look, San Francisco can't go wrong with either one of these young men that they're talking about between him and Trey Lance, because Trey Lance is just spectacular. All these young quarterbacks are spectacular in their own right, and that's why there's so much intrigue at the top of this draft, and that's why so many teams are going to be so anxious to get into the top 10, get into the top 8, and see if they can get a hold of one of these guys.
RC, I mean, you hear Schefter say, Trey Lance has made the competition so tough that as of this weekend, they didn't know who they were going to take. I mean, they gave up 3 first-round picks. We thought weeks ago they obviously had that pick solidified, because why give up what you gave up if you didn't know for sure? Is that not a little bit reckless to make a move like that and still not know where you want to go?
You know what? You got to think about it sometimes.
Okay.
You got it. Yeah.
Good. It was not reckless. They traded up, L. They traded up, L, with the objective, with the plan that they were going to take Mac Jones while leaving an open mind to see if they liked any of the other players. There was nothing reckless about it. They wanted and identified a quarterback. They traded up to go draft Mac Jones with the idea they were going to essentially do all their work on these other guys. And during that work, which is what they should be doing, they fell in love with Trey Lance as well. And now we'll see what they do. Ryan, take it away. I apologize for jumping in front of you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, no. Hey, man, you Adam Schefter, man.
Right.
Do your thing. I think the part that's crazy to me, L, is this, right? The San Francisco 49ers jump up, and now they've decided that, maybe Trey Lance is closer to Mac Jones than he was at the beginning. But didn't we talk earlier about the reason that Justin Fields may be at least perceivably falling to us is because they're just diving in? So you mean to tell me you made this decision before you actually dove into the film to figure out who your guy truly is, if we're going to listen to the reasons a guy like Justin Fields falls? And so on the other side of that, the thing I came to the conclusion is sometimes you don't know who you want to be in a relationship, but you know who you don't want to be in one with. And I think that's how the San Francisco 49ers feel about Jimmy G. You know what? We're going to move up because either of these two guys are better than the dude we have. We feel like that's a significant upgrade over the quarterback that we have, and we're going to now move up and then make our decision. The other thing I'll say about Todd McShay's mock draft is this. At the beginning of this process, if you told us in January, right after the season ended, that, you know what, Mac Jones is the first-round quarterback, or right after the Senior Bowl, Mac Jones is a first-round quarterback, and he's going to fall somewhere around 15 to the New England Patriots, you know what we all would have said at that point? Oh, my gosh, that feels right. Mac Jones about a mid-first-round guy. His talent's about a mid-first-round guy. The New England Patriots drop-back style, and it fits, right? You know why we're confused today? Because for the last 2.5 freaking months, y'all told me that the San Francisco 49ers moved up to 3 to draft freaking Mac Jones. But other than that,
they
would have been cool. So I'm blaming it on Adam Schefter, Todd McShay, and Mel Kiper.
He compliments him and then he blames
That's
him.
okay. Ryan Clark says Mac Jones is just fine. Ryan Clark says Mac Jones is fine. And
there we go again,
That's his official draft
I told you about that
analysis.
yesterday.
Just fine.
I told you about that yesterday, Shefty.
I do want to bring you in here, though, Louis, because to his point, I think what's also shocking about McShay's is that not only does Mac Jones fall, but that Justin Fields is taken before him and that he would fall all the way to 15. It feels like, at least per McShay, and I'm sort of reading between the lines here, that he thinks Mac Jones is more of a system fit. Like if he doesn't go to the Niners, which is the best system or the best fit for him, he's going to fall and be what we believe, to Ryan Clark's point months ago, that he is the 5th best quarterback available in this draft. Where do you think Mac Jones should go?
You know, look, I've been around this too long to know that, you know, I don't really know where I think he should go. I think this, because quarterback evaluation is so subjective anyway. What I feel as though is important to the position, 5 other people could say something totally different. Although I do know this, the greatest quarterback teachers that I know believe that decision-making and accuracy, those 2 things first and foremost are a given. You have to have them. And no one has ever said that Mac Jones does not have great decision-making or great accuracy. It's what he really hangs his hat on. That's who he is. So it doesn't surprise me that Kyle Shanahan would want him or move up to 3 to take him if, in fact, he does take him, which I believe, you know, I believe that that's exactly what ultimately they are going to do. What I do want to say, though, is about this. When we say, is it irresponsible, or any kind of discussion around, you know, should San Francisco take this all the way up to the 11th hour as far as making their decision? They absolutely should. If that means they change their mind today, they should absolutely take every single opportunity to evaluate the situation. Because, look, RC knows this very well. In 2004, when I was with Washington, we, the night before the draft, changed our top 100 list at the very top between 1 and 2. Joe Gibbs wanted to draft Kellen Winslow Jr., Kellen Winslow II. He wanted to draft him. We had a big draft meeting the night before. Everyone was in there arguing up and down as to why we thought we should switch Sean Taylor and put him at the top of the top 100 list. The next morning we came in, the top 100 list was changed. The day of the draft, and we drafted Sean Taylor, who was on his way to becoming maybe the greatest safety of all time. So we may think that that they need to do things a certain way. The way teams do things inside of their own building, though, is sometimes very different than what we talk about. And if they change their mind today at the last minute, it wouldn't shock me at all, because the reason that they do that is to get it right, not to appease any of us, which I think is something that would be wise for all teams to follow.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.